Hey guys, and welcome to part 6 of How to Pixel Art. Had a bit of a break there, computer troubles, that old story, so let's get back to it. Um, so I thought for this one, we would do some pixel people, obviously something a little bit more fun, so let's get into that. There's many different styles, I guess, to the 16 by 16 sort of way to go about pixel people, obviously because of the restrictions uh, in the frame size, you kind of have to stylize your character a little bit. I mean, you can try for something realistic, but you're gonna have to miss a lot of details. I mean, ultimately, things that dictate the way that your character looks is the size of this block. That's the smallest something can be. So think about an eye, for an instance. If you want your character to have eyes, they're literally going to have to be that big. You can't make them smaller. Um, but I'll do a sort of a classical, I guess, sort of an example. Let's come across here. I'm make a knight sort of character, so I'm probably going to give him a shield of some sort. So I'm just plotting out a basic outline of what I'm going to do here. Okay. Okay, with such low resolution swords, you always have the option. You can go obviously up and or vertical and horizontal. You can go for your swords. You also have the option to go diagonally. This kind of ends up more a broken sort of thing, and then if you fill in the gaps, you end up with kind of like a serrated sort of sword. Depends on what style you like. That's ultimately what you stay with. It also depends on how you're going to animate your character as well. If you're just going to have them run around with the sword, say vertical most of the time, and then whenever they swing it, it comes down horizontally, you can do that, and you can just do it as a simple 2-frame thing. Alternatively, sometimes if you work, say, within Unity, you might be able to have it come through as an independent object, and it just rotates the full degrees. So it's kind of a combination of old school graphics and then sort of new school sort of animation techniques. So you get everything in between there, and you still get to enjoy the low res sort of character. So let's get some color into this guy. A little more. Okay, cool. It's looking pretty good so far. Get my hand there. So I'm just going to use it like a very basic sort of shading technique, and this will help you get by as well until you sort of really start to grab lighting concepts properly. Just choose a point that's kind of around the halfway mark on your character, and then say, for instance, everything from this part backwards is going to be darker than the rest of it. So if you have whatever colors you choose when you come through here, choose a darker version of the color and go back. And you'll find that that's a good starting point. You may want to elaborate on it a little bit. It might be a little bit boring for you, but it's definitely a good starting point. Okay, I'm just going to chuck some eyes in here for him. Yeah, I kind of like them there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give him some armor coming through here. Okay, so following that rule that I just made for myself before, take a darker version of this color. No, not like that. Take a darker version of this color and just put that in there. And you'll see that it's starting to follow the depth line. So you're imagining that the sun is coming from over here, or the whatever light source, and then it's coming down. Like I said, we'll probably come back and elaborate on that, but it's just a good starting point. Let's make your shield a little bit more colorful than the rest. As you watch it go on, you'll probably not notice that I like to choose pastel colors more. I don't know why that is. Some of you may like the brighter colors of pixel art. If that's your preference, then ignore what I do and do your own. Okay, so I've gone back with the light a bit, so I imagine that his light is catching a little bit more on the shield. I could follow this here. It starts to get a little bit symmetrical for my liking, and that breaks it up just a little bit. Okay, let's give him a little pattern of something on his shield. Really quite limited here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm also going to go here, and just to separate what's his arm from this other area here, I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. I should put the color on his sword as well, actually. Come here, use the same grey. Okay. Also, I think this dude needs some armor. Otherwise, he's going to get injured on the battlefield. Don't really want that. Okay, so there you go. Maybe that. Nah, not the nose guard. Okay, so I'll follow my rule here before. Like that. And I might even go one back there. A little bit more depth. So if I bring this down. There we go. And I might chop the end of that shield off just so I can get that boot in there. It kind of looks a bit weird with not showing his other leg at all. Okay, so I think I'll go in here. Might give this shield a trim as well. I've kind of lost the pattern in there, but I don't mind too much. I like having the stronger contrast with the shield. Go in here, lighten that up a bit. Okay, now I'm going to go a bit lighter. And I'm going to kind of just put these where I actually feel like they should go. Okay, and I might go a little bit lighter and then just do the very points of things. Okay. Okay, so that's a good sort of starting sort of point for this guy. Best for yourself just to play around with this for a while and actually sort of find what you like. Because if I start, like I can start changing this guy pretty drastically. If I start chopping that out, you know, that's a different style again altogether. Let's see, I come in even further, take this to the next extreme. Kind of looks like he's got a nose there. Actually, I'll probably take that off. Sorry, I am obviously just experimenting as I go here, so this is what you should do though. If you want to find a sort of a unique sort of look for your game, this is definitely the way to go about it. You might be able to come up with something yourself that's got a fresh sort of look to your game, so. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, that's another sort of style. I can keep going with this. You can make bodies smaller, you can make bodies longer. In fact, for a laugh, let's just keep going for a little bit, just to show you sort of how many possibilities I can get out of this just on the fly. And these are just the select and move tools within Pixin. Whatever program you're using should have the same thing. Alright, let's grab that shield. Move this up. Select that. Okay. Erase him out. Okay. And as I did with the other tutorial on form, don't be afraid to break it up a little bit if you need to. Okay. His sword is looking a little bit perhaps too low. Might move that up. There we go. Okay. And if I want, I might even just come in here, darken this up, and give him a set of pants. And yeah, just following my rule of darkening up behind that line once again. Seem to have lost this one. And then we have that depth back again. Okay, so as you can see, I could probably keep going with this again and again. I mean, you just keep playing with it, playing with the form. Big heads is fairly common, the lower the res. That means you get more detail in the face. So if that's important to your game, you want your characters to have faces, then you can go the big heads option. Makes your characters a little bit more intimate, or some would say, I guess. Don't forget, don't be afraid to even go no faces. That's, it's a very common sort of technique as well, and I actually don't mind the look of that myself as well. So yeah, possibly like that is the best. Yeah, again, just playing with it over and over again. You'd be surprised about what you get away with. And don't forget to keep watching this one, your little preview, because that's the most important screen. Because up here, you may feel that you're lacking detail, but you're really not when you look down here. See you in part 7.